I just got into futures a couple of days ago. I was talking to one of my previous clients, Danny, and we had a conversation about how, like, now she went from blowing accounts, now she's making 30K plus from prop firms. And one of the biggest things that she told me, because she used to trade like Forex and everything, and she used to do good with it. And she said ever since she got into futures, that was one of the best decisions that she's made, and she couldn't even see herself going back. So I said, all right, I'm gonna take her advice. I'm gonna tap into futures. So I got me an evaluation account on my funded futures, and I will keep you guys updated on how the whole funded process goes and certain things that I learned along the way. I'm gonna just go ahead and get ready, finish getting ready, and go to the gym. Today's gonna be leg day, very, very good leg day. I've been loving switching over to a more hybrid style training because it allows me to push myself to the next level. I hit like a ceiling, like this wall with calisthenics, and it got to the point where my goals weren't big enough to a way that forced me to actually step outside that comfort zone and change. So that's why I decided to add lifting weights in, because it allows me to step outside that comfort zone and really push myself even on the days where I don't feel like it. I put myself in this mindset of 10x. Doing whatever it is that my goal was is too small. I need to 10x. And what that does is it puts me in the mind space of, if I have a 10x goal, that means what I'm doing now is not going to get me to there. What is that person doing? How can I achieve this? I really want to document the journey. What I've learned from doing one-on-one mentorship is that, even with my own journey, but that in-between range, that range is the most crucial and the most important thing. That's what makes or breaks. What really clicked to me when I read the Bible, I was just reading Genesis, the story of Joseph again today. But when I read the Bible, it doesn't cut out the in-between. Those in-between moments are what made the biggest impact. What I mean by that is, think of Joseph. It didn't just start off where Jacob said that he loved Joseph the more, and then boom, Joseph became a king. It showed the in-between of everything. Those roughest moments that Joseph had when his brother sold into slavery, when the wife, she tried to accuse him of, harassing her, to him being thrown into prison, to him doing the dream, and then they forgetting about him for another 2 years. It shared that in-between moment. And to me, that made such the biggest impact, because Joseph is going through all these things, and he did not waver his faith. And he had this such love for God, no matter what he went through. And Joseph went through more than majority of go through. Betrayed by your family, thrown into prison, accused of being a harasser, all these things, and yet he didn't waver whatsoever. And God had favor for him in everywhere that he went. So God allowed that to happen so he can show his power. He can show how amazing he really is. And that stood out to me. And I said, I want to do that with my content. Another scripture is like being lukewarm. It's how can I apply this to my life, right? Because the word says, I'd rather you be hot or cold. He hates the lukewarm. He'll chew you up and spit you out. So I'm like, how can I get out of this lukewarm area? Either go all in or don't do it at all. And this is why my brand and my business is systems coaching, not just trading anymore, because I've learned that everything that we do is a system, whether that's a positive system or a negative, or whether we did that purposely by learning it or we just naturally been adapted to it. And I said, I really want to understand how these work, because I remember going through this season of every time I would go all in, I would hit this roadblock, and in my mind it was, all right, I need to just step back, clear my mind, and then I'll come back. And I used to keep on doing that, and then I realized that was what was holding me back, was that stepping back when I should have went all in on that thing. And I said, yo, it's a reason behind this, and I have to actually put a system in place, because I can't just go off of willpower alone. I have to put a system in place that forces me to keep going, do that thing. One of the frameworks that I have in that whole system flow is the ripple effect. So, for example, one thing when it comes to like self-talk and stuff, what I would say is, and how I have it is, every time that I see my reflection, I say something, I speak life into my life, right? Whether that's before I'm about to record, whether that's like when I look in the mirror while I'm driving, because the word is so powerful, and it says life and death is in the power of the tongue. And it says to meditate on the laws day and night. So how can I build up so much reps of doing that? So when those, let's say those trials and tribulations, those attack comes where I hit those roadblocks, I done build up so much volume of saying the positive talk over and over and over again all throughout the day, instead of just this one moment hitting me all at one time. I build it up all throughout the day, so whenever it happens, boom, I done meditated on the scripture 1,000 times. Now I get to actually apply it. It ended up cutting off, but just a little bit inside the mind before I head to the gym. But other than that, rest of the session is how my gym session is gonna look. I just want to break it down now, so when I get there, I can just, it's strictly business, and I can just get straight to work without having to set up the camera and talk, and I can just lock in, because that's really what I want to do, just go and lock in. Today is going to be a leg day, lower day focus, because I switched up my training flow. Instead of just doing calisthenics, and I wanted to incorporate legs a lot more, so I'll have an upper A day, lower A, upper B, lower B, upper C, lower C type. So that is what the session is going to look like, and I will see you guys there. If there's anything that I need to update you at while I'm at the gym, then I will. Other than that, I'm just going to have the raw clips of me just training and just going through my motion. Breathe. Like a update, sets wise, I'm going to do 2 to 3 sets to failure depending on the exercise. So personally, ever since I really got into that 10x mindset, I've been taking my training a lot more serious. I am in the gym less, but I get more output of it. What I started doing is I'll do 2 sets to failure. I'll do like a warm-up set and then just go straight to it. 2 sets to failure. I stopped treating it like it was a log, right? And started treating it like every day push myself, because the more that I push myself to that failure point, the more that I grow every day, because every day is different. Not every day is going to be linear. Not every time I go to the gym and let's say do hack squat, I'm gonna be able to do the same thing that I did last time, or when I'm doing planche, the same time that I did last time. What my focus is being very specific about the movements that I do and maximize them, so less but more. I used to be in the gym or training for like 3-4 hours, bro, just doing whatever. And that's why I hit that plateau, because I wasn't doing something that like really just pushed me. I was just doing whatever, just showing up, doing whatever. And even though I showed up, showing up is just half the part. It's being specific is the other half. And I just had the first half of just showing up. And that's why I didn't see the progress that I should have seen. And that's why I said I'm just switching that up. Come in, I think today it was maybe 30 minutes to an hour max, somewhere around there. So what this session is going to look like for me is, I just went through gold. There aren't any setups on gold for me to look for on these futures. I really have been like trading futures recently. I'm going to wait for a price. You probably can't see this, but I'm going to wait for a price to give me a lower high and then look to potentially take an opportunity. Or if price is going to continue to keep going bullish, then I will identify that and look for some potential buys. Right here, I have my client portal. What I'm going to do is go through each client, and it makes it so simple when I just hyper focus on one client and give my all to them at that specific time, instead of trying to do this piece here with this client and this piece here with this client and that. For me, it works better to go all in on one, be as focused and as locked in, and then go to the next one. And then what I've observed is just being so focused and locked in, it's the amount of time that it takes to do things is drastically lower. And this is Keisha. I've been documenting her journey on YouTube. I'm going to continue to keep documenting hers specifically. But for her right now, we are seeing a lot of progress. And for me, I have to take things to another level of focus, because I see the progress that we make and we're building it out. Because the whole goal that I have, that I want, is to be able to build a framework, an entire system for her, to the point where she can pull this list up and follow this, something that she can literally, okay, you go get this, go back test this 25 times and see how it plays out. Okay, it works, it plays out more times than not. Go back test it 50 times. Okay, it plays out more times than not. Boom, here's your system. Now that you know this works, keep following it. Once we have her system, the only thing that we're going to be doing is actually back testing the actual system to see if there are any cracks that we need to come in and refine, that we miss out something where there's an emotion that takes place here that we don't have an actual system in place for. And so it'll be like Keisha's trading system 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, until we actually get the one that's for her. And that is when the automation comes in. That's when she's going to start seeing the profits. That's when she's going to start seeing the consistency. The thing that I put the most emphasis on why having this is because I can't take away the emotions. I can't remove like the emotions. That's something you have to do that. I can give you advice and give you wisdom on it, but we all have emotions. No matter how long somebody has been trading or doing it, we all have emotions. So nobody's emotionless on the charts. You can control your emotions. You have to just put in the work to do it. What I can do is give you a system to where even if you feel like FOMO, I want to jump in X, Y, and Z. Wait, my system tells me that I can only take X, Y, and Z trades a day. My system tells me that I can only do this. So it's really it's putting things in place that prevent you from going on tilt, from doing the thing that you shouldn't be doing. That's the whole point of this, putting that system into place. So the trigger is you want into FOMO. The action, the actual action that you take is, now that you have a rule in place, is I close my charts. I do this. Every time you have FOMO, there's a specific thing that you go do, something productive, right? For example, if you have FOMO, then as soon as you feel like jumping in, you look at your system first and then close your computer. And then don't come back for another hour or 2 hours. And within that hour or 2 hour, you do something productive, whether that's read a book. You don't do anything, no scrolling or anything. So let's say you read a book, you work on your business, you work on some craft that you want to get better at, you go to the gym, you go on a walk, you do something productive, you go cook, go grocery shopping, something, go clean. You do something that is actually something that's actually going to better you and make you a better person. And when you start doing that in one area, that's going to naturally start catapulting a snowball effect to the other areas. And that is how you build systems on top of systems. When you get this cue, you do this. This is the trigger, this is the action that you take. And once you start doing that, you'll realize a lot of the things that you struggle with, it's not that hard to overcome. It's really not that difficult. The thing is doing the thing, is doing the actual thing so many times that it becomes natural. When you invest in yourself and invest in the thing that you want to really go all in on, like I was talking about earlier in the car about going all in on the content, bro, I invested in this. It's like a little sticky thingy. You can stick it to places. I'm not about to stick it on the screen, but like you can stick it to places. And then I invested in this tripod. I did not know they had like magnetic tripods. When I tell you these two combos has literally been, all it took was just one session for me to see that this was one of the best investments that I could have made with my content. The reason why is because I don't have to keep on trying to snap the phone off and snap the phone in place and do this and do that. It's too much. And then on top of that, the dynamic range of where that can go is far greater. So I can literally phone off, boom, phone on, boom, phone off. That literally takes away minutes that I could just be locked in and doing the thing. It gets me out of that mode. When I was locked in today, even this right here, getting the different angles, putting it on the car window so I can have those type of conversations and getting the different angles, like the outside, that makes it so much simpler. It's because I do the same thing over and over again throughout the day. What I mean by that is 5:50 in the morning, right? I've been up since 11 or something like that doing this flow. I'm not gonna go to the gym again in a couple of hours, but if I'm done with this, then in a couple of hours, I'm going to, if my clients respond back to me, boom. If there's a setup, boom. If not, then I'll read. I do the same exact things over and over and over again, just throughout the day. All I focus on is trading, my personal trading, my client work, reading, like the Bible, books, reading, the gym, content, understanding where you're at and understanding where you want to be. I put a 10x mindset on everything, and there's so much work that needs to be done. So keep going. Keep going so much that you build up that resilience, that's like literally what I tell myself. I'm doing this every day. Keep going every day. Stay in this mindset. Don't let the outside world get to you. Don't let the outside world make you think anything, make you think you are doing too much, you're not doing enough. You forgot, what did God say? I know the plans that I have for you. So you continue to keep doing your thing. It's been 12 minutes. I'm gonna end it off with this. Love you guys so much, and I'm going to catch you all in the next one.